United States Naval Hospital in San Diego, California, the makers of Chase and Sanborn Coffee bring you the Chase and Sanborn program, starring Francis Langford with Spike Jones, the City Slickers, Tony Romano, I'm Ken Carpenter, and our guest this Sunday is Adolph Menjou. And here's Francis.
And burning inside, I love you. No use to pretend. There, I've said it again. I've said it. What more can I say? Believe me, there's no other way. I love you. I will to the end. There, I've said it again. I've tried to drum up a phrase that would sum up all that I feel for you. But what good are phrases? The thought that amazes is you love me, and it's heavenly. Forgive me for wanting you so, but one thing I want you to know, I've loved you since heaven knows when. There, I've said it again.
Thank you, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Naval Hospital here at San Diego is the largest hospital the Navy has. More than 150,000 patients have been treated here since the start of the war. Yet, despite its size, the doctors and staff treat every individual as an individual, knowing that each has a personality and a problem of his own. It's a wonderful job they're doing here, and to give credit where credit is due, that good old California sunshine is in there helping, too. As a matter of fact, you know something, Spike?
What's that, Francis?
I'm becoming a convert to the California sunshine myself. I think I'll go all out, send my clothes to the European War Relief, and go around in nothing but a sunsuit. Think what that will do for the girls over there.
Well, think what it'll do for the boys over here.
Well, thank you, Spike. Just for that, I wish there was something nice I could say about you.
I saw a touched-up picture of me once where I looked pretty snappy.
Well, you do have a lovely wavy head of hair, hasn't he?
Oh, his hair is straight, Francis. It's that head that's wavy.
Oh, I see. Well, I must say, Spike, whoever waves your head does nice work. Friend, Spike even has waves in his music this evening. I hope you like the ocean because that's where he's taking us right now. Spike Jones and his City Slickers in their Mother Sills version of By the Sea, sung by Carl Graces.
said Joe to Jane, I love summer weather, so let's go to that beautiful sea. Follow along, say you're with me. Anything that Joe would suggest to her, Jane would always think it was best to her. So he get his board, holler all aboard, gee, I want to be by the sea, by the sea, by the beautiful sea. You and I, oh, how happy we'll be. When each wave comes a-rolling in, we will sink or swim, and then we'll float and feel around the water, over and under and then up for air. Pa's rich, so now what do we care? I love to be beside your side, beside the sea, beside the seaside, for the beautiful sea.
Hey, you my folks out here, get those rabbit babies. That's silly me, love. He's here to keep forever. What? Say enough for you, and he wants more. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. That's right, I'll tell you.
We'll sit around with our white shoulders bare. Maybe we'll get a sunburn, but what do we care? I want to see the waves and waves that wave, those navy waves at seaside, by the beautiful sea.
There's double pleasure for us all in our coffee today, and here's the way to get it. Year-round, your selection of coffee is always based upon flavor. But now that everybody's drinking iced coffee, you want more flavor than ever. So follow the lead of all the millions who set out to get finer flavor and more of it. The millions who prefer Chase and Sanborn coffee to any other kind. So many people prefer Chase and Sanborn that it's making coffee history. This richer blend brought more pleasure to more people in the past year than ever before. And it's winning new friends every day, especially now because iced Chase and Sanborn is the king of refreshing drinks. Cooling, of course. Refreshing, too. But besides all that, you're drinking coffee, the drink of drinks, full of flavor and lift besides. So next time and every time, get the richer flavor iced coffee calls for. Ask your grocer for delicious Chase and Sanborn coffee.
The men here at San Diego have asked me to sing a song that was born in Tin Pan Alley, but is long since moved over to the other side of the railroad tracks. Cole Porter's lovely ballad, Night and Day. Like a beat, beat, beat of the tom-tom when the jungle shadows fall. Like the tick-tick tock of the stately clock as it stands against the wall. Like the drip, drip, drip of the raindrops when the summer shower is through. The voice within me keeps repeating, you, you, you. Night and day, you are the one. Only you beneath the moon and under the sun. Whether near to me or far, it's no matter, darling, where you are. I think of you night and day, day and night. Why is it so that is longing for you follows wherever I go? In the roaring traffic boom, in the silence of my lonely room, I think of you night and day, night and day, under the hide of me. There's no such a hungry yearning burning inside of me, and its torment won't be through making love to you. Day and night, night and Our guest this evening is quite a guy. A fine screen actor, a gentleman, a scholar, a man about town, the best-dressed gentleman outside of Esquire, Adolph Menjou. Well, Adolph, how do you like San Diego?
Well, to tell you the truth, Francis, I was so late getting here that I didn't have any time to look around. But I noticed one thing. There's romance in the air down here.
Oh, so you noticed it, too?
Yes, I saw a sailor and his girl walking down the street arm in arm. The most perfectly matched couple I've ever seen.
How could you tell?
He had bell-bottom trousers and she had bell-bottom legs.
Well, maybe it's a new style. But why were you so late getting here?
That's the newspaper. They printed the wrong train time.
Yeah, the papers make a lot of mistakes like that, Dolph. I caught a whopper the other day.
Well, everybody does, Ken, but we've got to remember that it isn't easy to get out a newspaper these days.
This boner was pretty funny, though. They got the captions mixed up under two photographs. One was a picture of a freighter in dry dock, and the other was a picture of a society woman. Under the freighter, it said, the beauteous queen of Omaha society, now visiting the coast.
Well, what did it say under the lady's picture?
It said, this battered old derelict is having her barnacles scraped off.
Well, as I said, the newspapers have it tough today. They have the paper shortage to worry about, the manpower shortage, plus more news than they ever had. And the editor's phone never stops ringing. It just rings and rings and rings. Hello? Yes, this is the editor speaking. This is Menjou. No. N-O, no. You heard me? No. N-O, no.
Who was that, Chief?
That new reporter, Spike Jones.
What do you want?
He couldn't spell no.
Well, he ought to know how. He's heard the word often enough.
Langford. Langford, how bad can this manpower shortage get?
Well, it's your own fault, Chief. Instead of keeping me as your secretary, why don't you make me a reporter?
You have no qualifications.
Well, let me sell advertising.
You have no qualifications.
Well, then let me run after news. Make me a leg woman.
You have no... The job is yours.
Oh, thanks, Chief.
Oh, now stop calling me Chief when we're alone. You know I'm nuts about you.
How should I? You've never said so before.
You're my secretary. You're supposed to know those things. When have I got time to, see what I mean? Hello, hello, hello. Well. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Who was that?
The Andrews sisters. Now, where... Now, where was I?
I think you were nuts about me.
Oh, yes. Almost slipped my mind. Langford, I love you. Don't ask me why, but I love you. You're beautiful. You're...
Yes?
You give me wonderful goose pimples.
Yes?
And besides...
Yes?
Well, besides, I'm a busy man and you're handy.
I'm quitting.
Oh, no, please. I tell you, this is the real thing. You're just my type. You're... Type. We were supposed to save paper and print today's issue in smaller type. Stop the presses!
You know, I could learn to hate you in one easy lesson.
I tell you, we've got to save paper.
That's easy. 50% of this newspaper is text, and 50% is pictures. Why 50% pictures?
Because 50% of our readers can't read.
Hey, Chief, you got a minute?
No. What have you got, Comrade?
Well, I sold some ads. Have you got room in the paper?
What kind of ads?
Look, here's one for classified. Man with hamburger patty would like to meet woman with damp cracker crumbs. Object, run meatball.
Throw it out.
Okay, it's out. Here's one. Mrs. Van Peister wants to run an ad in Lost and Found. Seems she's wearing her $1 million necklace to the governor's banquet tonight, and she wants to offer a reward for its return with no questions asked.
Now, wait a minute. She's got the necklace, and she's wearing it tonight.
Yeah?
So it hasn't been stolen yet. What's the idea?
Well, she says she doesn't want to wait till the last minute.
What else do you got?
Well, I got an ad for the Bonton department store. It's on dresses again.
Tell them that they've got to show shorted dresses in their ad.
Why?
We've got to save paper.
Okay. Say, Chief, I turned down a Chase and Sanborn ad today.
Are you out of your mind? What did you do that for?
Well, their coffee is too appetizing. We'd lose readers. People would see the ad, drop the paper, and hurry up and make the most delicious iced coffee they ever tasted.
Carpenter, you're fired.
Oh, yeah? Well, I got news for you. I just bought myself a newspaper.
You bought a newspaper?
Yes.
Where did you get enough money to buy a newspaper?
Wasn't much, 3 cents.
How do you like that character? Langford, if it wasn't for you, I'd chuck the whole business and give this paper to the salvage drive.
Here we go again.
Oh, no kidding. Why don't you and I get married and grow our own newsboys? Why? I can see the headlines now. Menjou in love. Menjou engaged. Menjou married. Menjou goes on honeymoon.
Just Menjou? Didn't you forget something?
Oh, yes, my toothbrush.
Allow me to be the first to give you a taste.
Hey, Chief, have I got a scoop? Oh, boy.
What do they got, Spike? Spill it.
Well, remember you told me if a dog bites a man, that ain't news?
Yeah?
Well, I found a man who bites dogs.
With the meat shortage, that ain't news.
Well, I'll try again.
There you are, Langford. Is it any wonder I haven't used anything but red ink in years? Oh, say, that reminds me. Roll up your sleeve, clench your fist, and show me a good vein.
What's the idea?
I want to fill my fountain pen.
Oh, you're so good to me. There's no one here now, Chief, and the phone isn't ringing.
Well, before it starts ringing again, let's get this thing over with. Will you marry me or not?
Of course I'll marry you. Oh, Chiefy.
Oh, say, that reminds me. The advice to the Lovelorn column. I'm going to Miss Hartburn's office and shove that last night's column down her throat.
That ought to be good for heartburn.
Then I'll meet you at the little church around the corner at 9:30.
Wonderful. Do you think you can be on time just this once? Remember, it's your honeymoon.
Well, if I'm not there, start without me. Miss Hartburn, where's Hartburn?
Thanks, Adolph Menjou, for being with us today and for showing us what life in a newspaper office is really like. And ladies and gentlemen, there's an ugly rumor that Spike Jones always makes sure the composer is out of the country before he plays one of his songs. Actually, the City Slickers know how to play beautiful music beautifully. And they're going to do just that right now with a really tender treatment of Holiday for Strings. trick, Spike. I thought the Slickers were going to play that nice.
Yeah. Hey, what's the matter with you guys?
Well, I can tell you what's the matter with them, Spike, in a few well-censored words.
Better watch your language, Ken. They're sailors' presents.
Huh? Oh, yes, you're right, Francis. I guess I'll sign a peace pact with the Slickers.
It's a San Francisco influence.
Yeah, everybody's doing it. I even met a sailor here in San Diego who just signed a peace pact of his own.
Sailor signed a peace pact with whom?
The bouncer at the Paris Inn.
I think we could use a short pause here for sponsor identification. Ken?
Well, every day now this topic is discussed more and more, so this suggestion is more timely than ever. The two big events of the coffee year are flourishing right now. They're running mates. They make a team, and they mean opportunity for you. Right now, a wave of popularity for iced coffee is sweeping the country. Iced Chasen's Sanborn takes its place as the king of refreshing drinks. And naturally, the melting ice and all makes flavor more important than ever. And that brings up the second event, the new record of Chasen's Sanborn coffee. In the past year, with everybody shopping for finer flavor, this richer blend brought more pleasure to more people than ever before in our history. Put two and two together and you'll see that's a tip for you. Because the extra flavor that makes Chasen's Sanborn so popular is just what it takes to offset the melting ice with an ample margin to spare. So ask for Chasen's Sanborn coffee every time.
The 4th of July is the birthday of the late and great George M. Cohan. So Spike and I have chosen 3 of Mr. Cohan's songs for tonight's medley. Tony Romano, the Slickers, and I are all in on this, and in that order. First, Tony.
Honest little girlie, I am strong for you. When you go away, I'm going to long for you. Won't you please encourage me with just a word or two? You needn't say you love me, for I'm pretty sure you don't. But tell me that you love me, and there's nothing that I won't be glad to do. That's honestly true. I'll go along for you. I'll do a wrong for you, because I'm awfully strong for you.
George M. Cohan favorite, Mary's a grand old name. For it is Mary, Mary, plain as any name can be, but with propriety, society, well, say, but it was Mary, Mary, long before the fashion came. And there is something there that sounds so square. It's a grand old name. Ladies and gentlemen, here in the hospital wards of the Naval Hospital at San Diego are veterans of every Pacific campaign from Pearl Harbor through Okinawa. These men can tell you what mail call really means to those who are still out there on those lonely islands. On my own trips overseas, some of the men have shown me letters from home that were so worn from being read over and over again that actually the men could no longer read them except from memory. Mail gets top priority in the Army and Navy because the services know that a letter from home is the best morale booster in the world. So write and keep writing. And if you feel lonely tears welling up as you write, don't let it show in your letters. Don't give the boys any more to worry about than they have now. Let them know that the job they're doing over there is keeping you safe and healthy and cheerful over here while you're waiting for their return. To the boys overseas, the old saying, as welcome as a letter from home, doesn't ring quite true, because to them, nothing is as welcome as a letter from home. So write, and write cheerfully, and write often. Good night.
We wish to thank Captain Jesse A. Allen and Lieutenant D.L. Toohey for this day here at the United States Naval Hospital in San Diego, California. Be with us again next Sunday at this same time when Francis Langford, Spike Jones, and the City Slickers, Tony Romano, and our guest, Miss Vera Vague, will be appearing at the Army Air Base Regional and Convalescent Hospital in Santa Ana, California. This week, when you're buying coffee, think of us and ask for Chase and Sanborn coffee. Coffee made to serve in times like these. This is Ken Carpenter speaking from San Diego, California. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of every 10 say, Royal desserts taste more delicious. Yes, Royal desserts taste more delicious. That's what they said. 1,526 Royal desserts users told why they chose Royal. And 8 out of every 10 said, Royal desserts taste more delicious. You'll say me too when you try Royal chocolate pudding. It's so smooth, so creamy textured, so chocolatey, so, well, everything. Better than homemade chocolate pudding, lots of folks say. And with Royal, you save time, work, and sugar. Look hard for Royal chocolate pudding tomorrow. If you can't find it, take Royal vanilla or Royal butterscotch. Or a tangy, tempting Royal gelatin dessert. Any flavor. If it's Royal, it's extra good. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of every 10 say, Royal desserts taste more delicious. Yes, Royal desserts taste more delicious.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.